Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa. First, a heart-rending ordeal for a young girl who found out that she had two mums. The young woman named Zephany Nurse before she was abducted from her mother at a South African hospital 19 years ago sees the woman she thought was her mother sentenced to 10 years for kidnapping. Also, Zambia's president will be staying on in the job that he took up only last year, unless his main rival in last week's election gets his way. Edgar Lungu wins an outright victory. Hakainde Hichilema, on the other hand, cries foul. And you can't touch this. South Africa is celebrating the record-breaking 400-metre time set by their very own Wayde van Niekerk. He smashed the fastest time that had stood as a benchmark for the best for 17 years. But first, it's a case that has gripped South Africa. On Monday, a woman who snatched a baby girl from her sleeping mother at a maternity ward almost 2 decades ago was sentenced to 10 years in prison for kidnapping. The identity of the abducted child, named Zephany Nurse by her birth family, was discovered after her biological younger sister started going to the same school in 2015, and it was friends that pointed out their striking similarities.
Outside the High Court, some pleaded for mercy for the woman who kidnapped Zephany when she was 3 days old. She then raised her for nearly 2 decades. On Monday, she was sentenced to 10 years in jail.
You cannot go out and steal a child and expect that the society will accept that, or the courts will accept that, or the general public will accept that. It's wrong. It's a crime.
These are pictures of Zephany before she was kidnapped. Her real identity came to light 2 years ago after some DNA tests. They were carried out because many people were struck by Zephany's resemblance to her younger biological sister who attended the same school. Zephany's father said he was relieved.
This actually made me tired, it made me sick completely. I couldn't sleep for nights, couldn't even eat properly. So the way forward is to build my relationship with my daughter, and that's it.
Relatives of the kidnapper accused Zephany's birth parents of not caring about her.
Obviously, we're going to miss her. We love her. But the bottom line is the child is the bottom line. They haven't clothed her, they haven't fed her, they haven't called her, they do nothing for her. It's all about the cameras.
Zephany has not formed any bond with her biological family and has chosen to live with the kidnapper's husband. In South Africa, the media regularly reports on crimes involving trafficking of infants and children.
Well, Zambia's incumbent president will be staying on in the job unless his main rival in last week's election gets his way. Edgar Lungu won an outright victory by just scraping by the 50% mark. Hakainde Hichilema was a mere 2.5% behind and has challenged the transparency of the vote. Meanwhile, the ruling Patriotic Front is celebrating the results.
Supporters of the re-elected Zambian president, Edgar Lungu, celebrate in the streets after a much disputed election. Now safe in the knowledge, he'll remain in power for another 5-year term.
And I'm happy for our president that he is on, like he's been campaigning for so long. Like, we are just happy. Like, I can't feel myself, but just happy.
Truly, Zambia have shown that they love this person. They love the president.
He won the poll by 100,000 votes, with his main opponent, Hakainde Hichilema, winning a little less than 48%. 7 other candidates shared 40,000 votes. Hichilema has rejected the results outright. The businessman, who's running for the 5th time, accuses the Electoral Commission of fraud.
We have evidence with us to the effect that the votes for Hakainde Hichilema has been deliberately reduced in collusion with the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
Election officials deny this and say they had to monitor the counting of 5 different votes. Lungu has been in office for just 19 months. He first took power last year when he beat Hichilema by less than 28,000 votes in a snap election, following the death in office of the then president.
We want to bring change to Zambia.
The country has seen weeks of clashes between supporters of the rival parties, which saw at least 3 people killed and scores injured. On Monday, Zambian police were sent to quell the rioting by Hichilema's supporters.
Parents of Nigerian schoolgirls kidnapped from their college by Boko Haram insurgents more than 2 years ago on Monday have spoken of the difficulty with which they've watched the latest video of their children. Footage of dozens of the captives was posted on Sunday. Many of their loved ones say watching has brought both sorrow and relief.
I'm really happy because since the adopters of those girls, I didn't show my girl in those videos, past videos that has been passed. But when I saw her, I really am very happy. I can be able to sleep today.
They have not done anything. If they are doing something, they have rescued one. But all the girls that have been rescued, they rescued themselves.
So the girls' disappearance sparked the Bring Back Our Girls campaign that continues to push for action in getting them back. The government's insisting that it's doing what it can, but many Chibok families aren't convinced. In the latest footage, Boko Haram offers a prisoner swap. Rosie Collier tells us more.
The Nigerian Defence Forces are in PR overdrive mode today. They are continuing to claim that the war against Boko Haram is being won, but this is somewhat overshadowed now by the release of this video. And one of the most disturbing revelations in the video is made by the leader of Boko Haram, in which he says that some of the girls have been killed by Nigerian Air Force jets. But the spokesperson for the Nigerian Defence Forces, Brigadier General Rabbi Abubakar, says that these claims need to be taken with a pinch of salt.
It's not true. It's not possible that we pounded the location, because to start with, they said, the Boko Haram and the cliff, they said, nobody knows where they are. And they said the Air Force bombed the place. However, we are exposing the whole clips to forensic investigation.
Also today, the Nigerian Defence Forces have released a statement in which they declare 3 Boko Haram commanders wanted. But as you can see behind me, they join a long list of Boko Haram suspects who remain at large. And then among these suspects are almost certainly the captors of these Chibok schoolgirls who have been in captivity now for over 2 years.
Rosie Collier there for us in Abuja. Well, at the first reopening of Parliament since a peace deal was struck last August, aimed at ending over 2 years of civil war, on Monday, South Sudan's president said that he wasn't opposed to the deployment of a boosted UN force. Despite initial objections from Juba, that was approved by the UN Security Council last Friday. Keir insisted that sovereignty comes first and that there needs to be more discussions before moving forward. Congolese NGOs have upped the toll from a machete massacre in North Kivu over the weekend to at least 51. The government said that 36 were killed. Hundreds have been killed in the city of Beni over the last couple of years, most in similar overnight raids. The government has blamed ADF militia that it says is a jihadist threat. Thomas Nicolon tells us more.
The people of Beni are protesting a government they say isn't doing enough to protect them. Just 3 days after their president visited the region, slaughter was again unleashed. Dozens of victims hacked to death on Saturday before security forces stepped in. For some, their survival was down only to luck.
I turned around and realized that one of them was running towards my doorstep. He threatened me with his weapon, and when I tried escaping, he hit me. Here, and I fell to the floor. I could escape because when he grabbed me by the shirt, it ripped the whole shirt. So that's when I started running. I was lucky he didn't go after me.
Over 600 people have been killed in massacres in the Benin region since 2014. Kinshasa blames the attacks on the Ugandan ADF militants that it's long been trying to wipe out. This year, the army managed to seize back some key ADF positions, but even so, authorities say there's only so much they can do on their own.
We're getting the impression that everywhere there is solidarity towards Mali, Nigeria, France or Belgium when these countries get hit by these people. But when our population is attacked, there are no such reactions. It's like Congolese people were left on their own, and the armed forces of DRC stand alone on that front line.
The UN peacekeeping mission in DRC has pledged more support to the Congolese army. Eradicating the ADF will take time. But in the meantime, people from North Kivu, on the front line of over a decade of violence, are left scared, angry, and uncertain.
Well, South African sports fans have been celebrating the record-breaking performance of Wayde van Niekerk in the Rio Olympics. Exploding out of the blocks on Sunday, the sprinter smashed the time of the previous record holder. He set a mark that many say is now untouchable. Ketevan Gorgistani brings us more from Brazil.
Wayde van Niekerk. This is a name to remember, as he's likely going to be the next big star of world athletics. He made history on Sunday night in the men's 400-meter event. Not only did he win gold by beating two of the overwhelming favorites for the race, the defending champion Kirani James as well as LaShawn Merritt, but he also smashed the 17-year-old world record on the distance that was set by the legend Michael Johnson. And van Niekerk did that in line 8, one of the most complicated lanes to run in with no visibility on your rivals, but he managed to do it. And at 24 years old, it seems that van Niekerk is just getting started as an all-around sprinting star. Just a few months ago, he became the very first athlete to run under 10 seconds in the 100 meters, under 20 seconds in the 200 meters, and under 44 seconds in the 400 meters. And with a time of 43.03 seconds on a Sunday night, he is likely to pass the 43-second mark very, very soon, pushed by his 74-year-old coach, who's none other than his great-grandmother, who was obviously very, very proud of van Niekerk. Van Niekerk, who carried the South African flag at the opening ceremony at the Maracana Stadium at the beginning of this games, and who raised that South African flag even higher on Sunday night at the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, she sounds like a formidable woman. Congratulations, Van Niekerk, from us here at Iron Africa. Thanks very much for watching us. Please do so again if you can. Take care.